and welcome to day 29 of Christy's from Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 5, and welcome to April's edition of Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. So we have some double inspiration again for you today. So of course, as always, my lovely friends participating in the 30 Days of Sketches will be down below. Christy, Crystal, Daisie, Shannon, and Jennifer over on Instagram. And then, of course, also will be the very large list of all my friends participating in Off the Board, which, of course, is spearheaded by Crystal. So there will be tons and tons of links for you down below. The Off the Board will not be using this sketch, but we'll be using all sorts of other inspiration from Pinterest. And in addition to today's sketch, which is from Scrapey, I don't know whether that's supposed to be Scrappy, but it's Scrapey or scrappysketches.blogspot.com. And it's a sketch by Heather, I think it says Watson. Is it Watson or Wilson? I'm not quite sure. From 2012. It's a lovely, lovely, versatile sketch. And I also got this lovely mood board that I had on my Pinterest boards on the mood board board. And I love it. Now, this is maybe you're going to say, okay, that's a little bit easy and a little bit cheating because you basically just took a mood board that reflected the Cocoa Vanilla Unforgettable. And you would be right. And that's my prerogative. But I'm going to keep this mood board handy because I love it. You can do so many different combinations. Now look at this, which would have, you know, something very, very, very different. Some lovely grays. There's even a little bit of craft in there. So there's a whole bunch that can be done with this one. So I think I'm going to keep it out on my desk perhaps for part of the month of May. So let's see where I went with today's sketch. And it's just a fun one, a very, very, very simple page. I love these types of sketches because these circular elements in the back could be anything. They could have been stitching, they could be die cuts, they could be a cut file, watercolor even. We could have watercolored some circles or just use mist. You know, you could use the nozzle part of the mist and just do some drawing. I've done that before. Note to file, try and do that again. I went a fairly easy route this time and I used just some circle dies and circle punches. And this, of course, was one of my favorite papers from the Cocoa Vanilla Unforgettable. And I think this is the third, if not the fourth layout that I got a little bit of that paper on. So I stretched it out. And I just used my manual die cutter. And you see here, I used two different sizes of circles, which would give me quite a wide circle with the hole in the middle, some full circles. These I used some punches. This I used some punches as well. So I just stayed fairly true to the sketch. These two photos are from very early on, maybe even the first week of lockdown or confinement. I don't really remember anymore, where this rainbow with, in French, ça va bien aller, everything's going to be okay, future, was posted, and this started appearing, this lovely rainbow and all sorts of rainbows started appearing in windows all over the place, not just here, but I think also in the UK, in other countries and provinces and cities. We all put them up in our windows, and it was just fun to sort of walk around your neighborhood, to see this, to take some photos. I will have a layout of a collage of photos from my little town that was on the official Facebook group of my little town, which I will be doing, of all sorts of photos of people's windows. Now, the sketch here called for one portrait, one landscape. I'm a little bit different, but I sort of still have the same feel in that I do have my landscape here. This is a little bit more square than it is portrait, but you know, the differential is still there. So my two photos are flat to the page. I use this lovely bright turquoisey blue cardstock as my background, and I don't use cardstock near enough, I think, as my background, or maybe I do, but I tend to use the obviously white, cream, craft, so not the bright colored ones. So this I find really, really fun for that. Just did a simple mat around the photos, flat to the page, and then arranged my circles pretty similarly, at least in place, as to where they are here on the sketch, but a little bit differently. Here I added this one mounted on foam, and this is not a full circle, although I'm not sure it is there either. I added a lot more in terms of the circle cluster down here in this corner, and I added more, although smaller circles, over in this cluster as well. Oh, little Chopin hair all over the place. And then now this could very well have simply just been the title, but I wanted a little bit more because it was very, very early on. So rather than put my full title up here, I just, in the circle, put some word phrases. This is unforgettable memory, because I mean, this whole situation is historical for sure. And I do feel the need to record it, although I'm not sure that there will be anybody after my departure that will look at any of these. But anyway, I find it important to have that history recorded, and therefore I came down here as opposed to floor, because I had rainbows in the photos and in my circles. I didn't feel the need to put florals or another big cluster of embellishment to tie in these two clusters. So I basically put my title, which is #StayHome April 20, as in 2020, although I should perhaps have put March, April, because we are in, I think by the time this goes up, will be week 7 of our lockdown. And this week at some point, the government is to be announcing a very, very gradual unlocking, if I can use those words, over a very, very long period of time. So by the time this goes up, that may have already been announced. That starting perhaps May 4th, there may be a very, very slight and gradual reopening of certain businesses, or a little bit of softening of the confinement rules. There we go, back to the layout. So these lovely pink fresh pink alphas, these of course are my Happy Life from Paige Evans. These two, I just felt like adding a little bit of an extra little bit of embellishment up here. These two feathers were on my desk. I didn't know what else I was going to do with them. The colors match perfectly, so there they are. Mounted this little one up on foam as well. Got some of those lovely, these are the Prima faceted gems, so I got quite a few of those used up, and hopefully these will be fully used up by the time I get to the end of the month. I'm pre-recording this. I'm recording this, and I did this layout on Friday the 24th. Is that what it is? And then I went in and used the unforgettable enamel dots to just, you know, where the circles meet and where there are little divots here, and I just arranged that as I always do. And then I just felt that because this was cardstock, now you see I normally have this with white cardstock where I tell you I can't just have the cardstock all by its lonesome, so I will tend to do some outlining, stitching, inking. Well, I felt a little bit the same with this, so I decided, as a little nod to my lovely friend Christy, who is the instigator and who chose all of these gorgeous, gorgeous sketches throughout the month. And Christy does this so beautifully, that lovely little folded corner that she does. So I took this beautiful paper from Unforgettable, and this is the back side of the paper, folded over my little corner and put that there. And I'm much, much, much happier. 2 little enamel dots. And there you have it. There is today's layout, which I stuck fairly true to the sketch, and I used all the beautiful colors that match this lovely mood board. So there you go. So come back and join us tomorrow for day 30 for our last 30 days of sketches, series 5 sketch. See you all tomorrow. Hope you're all safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.